What's up, everybody? Adam here. Black Top, Smack Top. Can't even get my own squad or my own brand. I can't even get our name right. Adam here, Black Talk, Smack Talk. We're here live, Issaquah Elite Sports Academy. This man has me and Pat out here in the cut, in the middle of nowhere. But nah, man, we got my power forward from his 5th grade team. I coached him at St. Matt's Elementary in Seattle. Shout out to my Thunder. Shout out to the parish. You know, I'm still an avid member. Not an avid member. I'm still a member of the parish there. Sekou Wiggs. How you doing, man?
How you doing?
Oh man, you know, just to let you guys know, it took me and Pat a year and a half to get this guy on. So it's, you know, we try to get at him at summer league. You know, it's just, but hey, we're here. We're just not worried about the past. Mm-hmm. We're worried about right now. Right. We're here. We're getting it done. So, man, how's it going?
It's going good, man. Just living and grinding. That's it.
Yeah. Getting ready to leave here in a little bit.
Absolutely.
What, Thursday you said?
Thursday. I'm out here Thursday.
Whew.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a lot that goes into like before you leave for another, not even just another state, because you know, you go to college, you pack up, you gotta make sure you got all the right fits and the right shoes.
Absolutely.
But now you're going to a whole other country. So if somebody wanted to send you something, it would take like weeks to get there.
And it's expensive.
It's expensive. Because I've sent stuff overseas. It's not cheap.
International shipping.
So yeah, I can only imagine the preparation that goes into shipping stuff overseas. But I mean, we can get into more of that. So you just been final days, just grinding, getting ready to go.
Absolutely, man. You got to take care of a couple of things, obviously, with like the whole big move and stuff like that. But you just try to just mainly focus on just getting all your grinding out the way.
Right.
Especially your grinding, so you're just prepared to when you get there.
Right. And then of course you want to see certain people before you leave.
Facts. Family members, friends.
Well, and then of course Black Top Smack Talk. You wanted to see us. That's the one he really wanted to see.
Absolutely.
Family's like kind of secondary. His girl or whatever. You know, your significant other. You know.
Absolutely.
But no, man, that's exciting. So I've known this guy for a long time, man. Like I said, I coached him in 5th grade. He's always had like a real upbeat, exuberant personality, man. He's always been, I don't want to say the life of the party, but always had that personality. And, you know, we'll fast forward to that, starting off at Odea. You had a really successful career there. Your last 2 years, you were first team All-Metro. And then you guys got, your senior year, you guys got 6th place at state, which was big, but you guys didn't place before that, right?
I do not believe so.
Dang. Man, you had some players on your teams over the years,
man.
man.
Some hoopers, man.
And Odea's known, so you're one of the guys coming out there. So why don't you just kind of talk to us about your experience at Odea, from the time you was a freshman and how you evolved every year to senior, where you led into 6th place in state.
Odea was awesome, man. Odea was like, it's a weird situation because everyone else is an all-boys school.
Right.
So it takes a little time getting used to, but then once you get used to it, you start realizing that these people around you are like actually your family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So since freshman year of high school, man, I had Lumpkin up there. Rest in peace to Lumpkin. But he basically took care of me and was like, I'm gonna help you get to where you want to get to. You know what I'm saying? So that was tough after his loss of being a young kid, you know, trying to realize like, dang, my coach just died. He was invested in me a lot.
Right.
So after that, it took a little adjusting to get to. Like sophomore year was a big adjustment for me with a new coach change and stuff like that. So it was like hard with someone that was believing you and like put all their like trust in you, and then dealing with someone completely new. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I struggled a little bit sophomore year, and then junior year I kind of came into my own when Al Harrison came there, and like he was another person. I was like, all right, I'm trusting in you, you know what I'm saying? Let's see what you can do. So he helped me a lot in that aspect to where my junior year I was able to thrive, and then senior I was able to thrive too. So it was a rocky road, but I ended up getting to where I wanted to.
Right. And so then you get to the state tournament, which is a huge accomplishment because your team in 2000, your junior year, you guys were loaded.
2011.
Dustin Watts, you had him. I remember he was big time. That was the year you guys beat Garfield.
Absolutely.
At Garfield.
Absolutely.
One of the craziest games. I still have players who played at Garfield who were youngins at the time. They were like, man, that's one of the craziest games I ever seen. You guys beat them when they had a tone. So getting to state, and it's been some years since you had got there. Talk about that experience and how fulfilling it was to kind of like, even though you didn't win, but you still placed, which is huge. Oh, you had my man Dana on the team
Absolutely,
too, right?
I had Dana.
D-Block, man. Shout out to D-Block, man. So yeah, talk to us about that. The fulfillment of finally getting Odea back on the map and getting back to state. You know, just even though you had the talent the previous years, but you could just never get over the hump.
We had, like you said, we had a really good team, especially my junior year. We had a lot of talent. So, like, state is one of the things where you get to state, like, it's your dream, you know what I'm saying? Ever since the beginning of the season, you do goals, team goals, and everyone's like, we want to get to state. But that team was a little different because our goal wasn't just to get to state, but it was like we expected to win.
Right.
I think we were the #1 basketball player. We knocked off Garfield, basketball team in the state after we knocked off Garfield. So, like, we already had anticipated, like, this is a great team, now we just got to get it done. State came, and it was just the row. I think we had Lakes in the first round, and Lakes was like #4 team in the state or something like that. So they had talent to themselves. So
Right.
They got us, man. They got us in the first round, and it's just such a disappointment, man. When like all your goals are set to win the state championship, and you get bounced in the first round, then it's a tough burden to bear. So, I mean, it is what it is. Wins and losses happen, but I feel like it got us, like, it helped us grow, especially.
Right.
So we had some growth issues, especially with myself at that age. So it helped us grow into the men we are today.
Right. Okay. Well, then, after senior year, graduate from Odea, but then you decide to, when it's not really as big as it is now, you decide to reclassify, which was something that a lot of people back then, this is 2012. You decide to reclassify, and people are like, now you hear it all the time. People are reclassifying left and right. High school kids, I mean.
Absolutely.
And then, so you decided to do that. What went into that decision?
A lot of it was, a lot of my recruiting didn't happen until I was a junior. And, like, me and myself, like, being really immature at the age of high school, you just believe basketball is just, everyone believes basketball is their way out. Especially with me, I was like, I don't really have to, like, I can go to school, I can, like, do my schoolwork, I can work hard in that aspect, but, like, basketball is going to get me to that next level.
Right.
And it put me in a gym to where, like, with my grades being the way they were, I had to get a really high SAT score.
Okay.
And so I hadn't taken the SAT until my senior year. So I had one chance to take it. I had one chance to take it, no prep classes, so I didn't get the score I wanted. So all these schools that were recruiting me and offering me were, like, backing out because, like, he's not going to be able to qualify. And we can pull some strings, they're saying, but we're not guaranteeing you anything.
Yeah.
And it was like they said they couldn't guarantee me anything. All the deans were like, nah, his SAT score isn't where it is. He would have to go to JUCO for 1 year, get his grades right, and then go here and come to our situation. But I didn't really want to go JUCO at that level, especially being young. I graduated at 17.
I know, because I remember when I was coaching at Strong, I contacted you. I was like, hey, what's up, man?
Facts, I remember that.
Man, you trying to come on? But I knew at the time, hey, it was a long shot. But as they say, man, you got to shoot your shot. I tried, man. But I knew, like, you were destined to do something else. So you ended up, how did you end up at Kingdom Prep? How does that work out in terms of prep school? Because I know there's a lot of prep schools that guys go to. How did that work out for you? Did they, like, recruit you? Or?
Yeah,
okay, they recruited you. Okay. This is in Atlanta, right?
It's in Atlanta.
Okay.
Columbus, Georgia, actually.
Oh, Columbus, Georgia. Okay, that's what's up.
Shout out Doc McGill, man. But he recruited me. He recruited many other fine young men, too, from different areas, man. And we all just came together. And he was like, I'm going to pay for your guys' living. I'm going to pay for your guys' school. I'm going to pay for your guys' SAT prep classes. It was like an angel. It was like an angel at that time.
It's like a blessing in disguise. Yeah, there you go.
I'm going to pay for all your food. Don't worry, I got you. So it was like a full ride scholarship. So all of us are coming together, and we all have the same goal to make it to the next level and get our grades right. And at that aspect, it was probably one of the most talented teams I've ever played for. Like, we had, like, I think we sent, like, 7 guys D1. We sent guys like Ole Miss, Rowan to Big East. Damn. Like, we sent the guys everywhere, man. So that was like a talented group of guys coming together, and we made it work.
And then you guys won the championship?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's another exciting moment. So when you guys are playing in the championship, are there a lot of college coaches in the gym, or were your guys at your games all throughout? There was college coaches there. How did that work out?
Prep school is odd because, like, we had college coaches at our practices. Like, we had Bob reaching out, and then college coaches coming to our practices and watching, like, high level. We'd always play against each other and compete. So we had college coaches come to our practices and seeing, like, what they wanted and what they were looking for. But then we also had a couple college coaches coming to our games and watching us close up as well. So
Okay. So then from Kingdom Prep, you end up at Idaho, University of Idaho. First, how did you decide on Idaho? Actually, no. First, what offers did you have
Okay.
following, Kingdom Prep, and then leading into, the next phase? And then how did you ultimately decide on Idaho?
Idaho was the one school that offered me from the get-go. Like out of high school, they were like, we want you really badly. We can't really pull the strings to get you into our school right now, but after you get your grades right and your SAT score, we want to bring you in.
Okay.
So then, with me when I went to prep school, it was like the only school that was like really, really heavy on me was, I do believe, crap, I forgot the name of it. I know it's in Omaha, Nebraska, wherever Dougie McDermott.
Oh, Creighton.
Creighton
Okay,
was
yeah,
high
yeah.
on me after that. And so, but they were like cat and mouse with me. They're like, we really want you. We're the recruiting is like, we want this other guard too, so we're waiting to see what happens between both of you guys and who we want more. But Idaho the whole time was like, listen, like we're not BSing you, like we're not waiting for any other guy. We want you to be our guy. So you
Right.
can come and wait on the school. It's a high level school and that might bring you into the system and might recycle you like schools do. You can come to us and we'll let you rock. So
Right.
I've always been a loyal guy, so I was like, let me take a
Yeah.
chance in the school that's loved me from the get go.
That's what's up. So then, Idaho, spent 2 years there, 61 career games, averaged almost 11 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. You were the WAC Sixth Man of the Year. First question, how would you describe your experience at Idaho, at the University of Idaho?
It was definitely a learning thing for me. Like before we went into it, I knew it had been a systematic school, but I didn't know it was that much of a systematic school. So like in regards to plays, like we had to be so focused in the element of being able to structurally correctly run a play.
Yeah,
So like everything was a play. Like we didn't do
I've
the
heard.
flow.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Nishana told me that
It's
too. Yeah,
so different. Like the flow of the game is so different, but you also learn a lot because you learn how to play within a system.
yeah.
And so if you can play within a system, you can play usually wherever. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Because
Right.
they'll let you free. You can. So that was the biggest change for me, but it helped me like grow. But systematically, it was tough. It was definitely tough to play in that system.
Okay. I mean, you enjoyed some success there for, success, but it was kind of weird. You came off the bench, which I could kind of understand as a freshman. You come in, but you're that kind of jolt because you have that kind of personality in that game where you just come in and provide a lot of energy. But how did it help knowing players that you knew? I mean, because you had Perry on. He started with you, I believe, and then you guys played 2 years together. Glenn Dean was there for a year, and then you ended up, I think your second year was Nashawn's first year. So how did that transition, Idaho, how was it, like, how was it helped by the fact that you knew guys there? Like you knew some of your friends from back home, then they came, it's like you guys were all there together.
Absolutely. That's like every player's dream. You want to play with some of your really good
Right.
friends in college. Perrin was part of the reason I ended up going to Idaho because he committed around the same time. So we were like, let's go
Oh
out
yeah,
together.
you guys are like brothers.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
That was
yeah.
like my brother. So we're like, it's always been a dream for us to play together again. We played together at Odea. We're like, why not play together at Idaho and like put them on the map.
Right.
So that helped. And then like guys like Glenn, man, Glenn was Perrin's older brother. He went there too. We had Mike Scott. We had Nashawn, man. So like some of these
So yeah.
players at Idaho, like I ended up gaining the closest relationship with, and then
Right.
becoming like not just friends but like family.
Right.
So that's just the element of just blessings, man. Just at Idaho,
Yeah.
brought us together like.
Well, not so much Nashawn, man. He's
Yeah,
kind of
facts,
a different
facts,
case, man.
facts.
That's like shout out to my guy Nashawn, man. I got love for him, man. Man. So after your second year, I remember kind of hearing some things swirling around that you were going to transfer, and then finally heard that you were going to transfer. I think to a lot of people's surprise, you ended up going D2 to Alaska Anchorage, school in the GNAC. Being a college coach at the time, I knew that if you were to transfer D1, you would have to sit, and that's kind of. I remember kind of talking to Coach Brady about it because I was on his staff at the time, and I kind of figured you didn't want to sit, but that's just my assumption. I didn't really know the whole story, and then I remember we seen you at Summer League, at the Bellevue Summer League. You were there watching a game, and we came up and asked you, and it's just like you wanted to play. So what went into the decision to transfer first, and then how did you end up at Alaska Anchorage?
It was a decision of like what was best for me, like especially in the Idaho system. It was tough for me to be able to like showcase what I wanted to do. Especially when their system, to me, like not being a terrific three-point shooter or great three-point shooter, like they love shooting threes and love just threes and layups. And I was a mid-range shooter. So it was an aspect of like I need to do what's best for me and be able to play my game. I was also playing the three at that position, at that level, so at 6'3", 6'4", three-man.
That's your three?
I had the three-man. So it's tough to be able to play the three-man in the system and be able to showcase professionally what you can do.
Right.
And I wanted to play the 1-2 guard, a combo guard, like I've been my whole life. So it was just a learning decision to me being able to like take a step back and look at my career and be like, what is going to be best for me? Obviously, I didn't want to sit out a year. Again, recruiting came in. Recruiting is tough, man, especially for young kids. It's tough
Trust me, I already know.
You got to deal with a lot of BS, man. A lot of BS.
There's so much. Oh,
absolutely. So,
we could do a whole like podcast on that one, but man.
Do you want, man? Transferring to like a recruiting. So, a school had contacted me, Tulsa coach had contacted me. He was the coach in Mizzou, I do believe at the time, but he had transferred over to Tulsa. And he was like, basically, we want to bring you in, like pack your stuff, pack your apartment. We're going to send you a plane ticket. We want you to come visit our school, and we want you aboard. At this point, I'm telling all my friends, you know, I'm going to Tulsa. I packed my apartment up.
Right.
Didn't hear from him for a week. So I'm waiting for this plane ticket, and then I finally reached out to them. I was like, what's going on? And they were like, yeah, so we actually got a commitment from a big man, but we still want you, so we're going to send you down here to one of our prep schools and have you redshirt at our prep school. Or not prep school, sorry, JUCO, have you redshirt at our JUCO. And the following year when the scholarship opens up, we're going to bring you on board. So I'm like, I'm not going to Omaha, Nebraska. No offense in Omaha, shout out Omaha, but it's for a year just to go to JUCO and not play basketball.
Right.
Plus, not too much, I didn't even want to sit out.
Right. Yeah,
I seen what sitting out could do to transfer. So I was like, at that point, it's like, I want to go to Division II, man. You get to play right away, you get to do your thing, and you get to showcase what you can do at that level. So it's actually a funny story. When I actually announced to someone in the press I was thinking about going D2, the following morning I had a call. I had like 28 missed calls, and they were all Division II schools.
Wow.
All Division II schools.
Damn.
Absolutely.
So then Anchorage kind of, how'd they win you?
Anchorage stole me, man. They stole my heart. Rusty Osborne, man, he became like a father figure to me.
Okay, that's what's up.
Level. So he just reached out and was like, listen, like, what better move if you really want to focus on basketball to come to Alaska, because there's nothing else to do but play basketball.
Yeah.
So that kind of hit me like, that makes sense. You can't party, you can't go outside, it's too cold. You know
Right,
what I'm saying?
right.
So I was like, man, I can focus on what I want to focus on.
Right. Damn, that's crazy. I mean, I'm like a big basketball junkie, but I don't know too much about Alaska Anchorage per se, but judging based off of everything I watched and read over your 2 years there, you probably had one of the most established careers at Alaska Anchorage. I mean, played 61 games, 24 points, which is the second highest total in GNAC history. And then I think it is the highest in school history. And then 6.5 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.3 steals, 2-time GNAC leading scorer. When you come in, your first year, newcomer of the year, third-team All-American. Just, man, you played in the Great Alaska Shootout, beat a D1, set the Great Alaska Shootout scoring record. Dang, and that's just year one. The next year, first team All West region, All GNAC again. How you didn't get Player of the Year, that's a different story for another day. But I just call.
Different day, man.
We are not gonna edit this out. That's fucking bullshit. So we're not gonna edit that out. You're fifth in D2 in scoring. Man, you just had such a remarkable career there. Describe your time, because like you said, Coach Osborne was a father figure to you. He pretty much was like, all right, so here are the keys, go do you.
Absolutely.
So describe your time there, because I remember watching games online and just reading a bunch of stuff and talking to people. It's like you had fun. You kind of had fun playing basketball.
That's exactly what it is.
You were able to be yourself.
That's all it is, man. Like, as a basketball player, you never want to lose your love for the game. So when you start losing your love for the game, you stop having fun with it. That's when people start dropping out, because they're like, man, like, and that will happen to you, especially going to college level. Like, a lot of coaches will try to like strip you of your love for the game. So that's why a lot of people end up stop loving it.
Right.
And Rusty was able to reintroduce me to my love of the game. So when he introduced me to the real love of the game, I was able to do things that at the time I didn't think I could do it at Idaho. I was able to do it at Alaska. So that just confidence came back and me understanding like at that level like how good I could be. And since he gave me the keys, he was like, here, I want you to showcase the world what you can do. I was able to showcase the world I can do.
Right. Sometimes it's all it takes is one person to believe in you. I mean, you can have so many people in your ear, but a lot of the times all it takes is one. I tell a lot of young players that, in your situation too. A lot of guys who play D1 have talked to me about, and I've transitioned to you, and I'm like, the world the world of basketball in the States doesn't revolve around D1 for college basketball players.
100%.
There's some great players to come out of D2 and who are playing professionally now. Now, people will look at it because they think D1's the be-all, end-all, which it's nice, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, that's not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, sometimes it takes that one coach, that one that staff member to just believe in you and to really help you evolve to where you want to be. So then, there's two parts to this question. The first one is like, is there a time where you knew in your 2 years there, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna play pro? And then the second part to that is that tied to a certain game where you're just like, oh yeah, all right, like right after that game you kind of knew? So it's like, is there a certain game that sticks out in your mind where it's just like, yo, that's the one? And then was there a time where you were just like, yeah, I'm gonna do this for a career?
Absolutely. So it was definitely the point in my life where I was like, in my Alaska career, I was like, I'm definitely a professional. It has to be the Great Alaska Shootout.
Right.
So where I was playing against D1 players. I just transferred as well. So I was like, I'm going D2. So all these D1 schools, like in my mind, I was like, all these D1 schools, I'm just going to murder. I'm going to just murder you guys and show you guys that even though I'm playing at Division II, I'm still at a higher level than all you guys. So it was that tournament, man. I think I scored like 98 or 97 and broke the record, GNAC record.
98 points.
98 points in the game. So I was just on fire, man. And I had so much to prove and so much of a chip on my shoulder to be able to show everyone that I can do. And not only West Austin, but Coach Turner too, another man that believed in me, man. Loved Coach T, and he was basically like, "This is your time to go show everyone what you can do." And so with just that aspect, after that last game of the shootout, I remember the coaches. I think we played. It wasn't Drexel, but it was
Middle Tennessee.
That was the first game. Drake. It was Drake.
Okay.
Drake was the last game. The coaches of Drake came up to me and they're like, "Listen, you got it, man. Like." You got what it takes to be not just a professional, but an NBA player. Just keep going, just keep working. So
That's a dope.
Words from their coaches. I was like, damn, man, this is right here for me.
Right. So despite all that success, you didn't get Player of the Year, and like I said, we're not going to get into that. Like I called, we're not going to edit this out. That's fucking bullshit. Obviously I'm biased, but obviously the facts prove it. Dude had one of the most storied careers in just 2 years. Just imagine if he would have played all four. So. I'm just going to say it for you. That was bullshit. You didn't get. You weren't All-American or, MVP of the league. But anyways. So now your career's over. College career. Moving on to the pros. What was and you graduated, right?
No, I did not. I have to go back and finish.
Okay, but you'll get there. So that's not even here nor there. You're gonna do it.
I have to.
So now making the transition to the pros, what was we've asked every single guest so far, what was the process of picking an agent like?
That's tough too.
And that's what that's funny because that's what every single person has said to us.
It's like
college recruiting all over again.
It's like college recruiting all over again. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say it's just like college recruiting. Absolutely. I mean, it's just all these guys are trying to vie for you, and you had such a great career that I could just imagine guys are just lining up to kind of get your services.
Absolutely. That's like recruiting all over again, but that's a different type of recruiting. Like that's not for your college career, but that's for your future.
Yeah.
And picking the right guy to be able to represent you, man. And a lot of agents, like, it's like they're not really leeches, but they just know what to say to be able to try to get you to come on board on their
salesman.
Exactly. They're really good salesmen, man. So you have to be able to just knock out just everything they're saying to you and be able to like look up their resumes.
Right.
But at that age, you're not really looking at resumes. So for the future, like if I'm talking to someone, I'm gonna be like, look up your agent's resumes and their organization and what they've done for players around them, and that will help you get a bias of who they are.
Okay.
A lot of agents will lie too to tell you what they want to hear.
Right.
So you'll jump on their ship.
So who did you end up signing with?
For me, I was blessed with my best friend, Zach Levine.
So your same agency?
Absolutely. He was Philadelphia agency.
So I think it was, everything, we blessed, so many blessings all the way around is, I'm sure you had, him being one of your best friends, you had him to lean on and kind of be like, hey, what should I do? How do you feel about this? So was he helpful in the process?
Absolutely. Him and like my actual dad, Paul Levine, his dad, they were like, here, this is what we're going to do. He's taking care of us. Obviously, he's like family to us, so he's going to be like family to you.
Oh,
obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
So since he's taking care of us, he's going to take care of you. So I signed with Nima, and I knew who Nima was. He's like our family member, so I knew he was going to take care of me.
All right, so then you started your career in Belarus for... Oh, shit, I can't even... I'm going to butcher the name. Why don't you say it?
I want you to hear it. I want to hear what you try to say.
Smolsky Minsk?
That's actually close. It's Smoky Minsk.
Smoky?
The T silent.
Oh, the T is silent. Smoky Minsk?
Minsk, yes,
oh,
sir.
Shit. Well, man, don't hire me to pronounce international teams' names like that.
Right.
So you signed with them all the way in Belarus, which one of my best friends from high school is from Belarus, but they just describe it as, damn, it's cold as shit over there. I mean, you just came from Alaska, so you're kind of, but, I mean, how did you end up going there? Did you have offers prior to signing with them? And yeah, so talk to us about that.
That was actually my first. I had a couple offers, but they were like, a lot of them were second league, some were first league in different countries. And that, like, basketball in Europe is so much different than it is here.
Oh, yeah.
It depends on like the country you play, as more than actually the money you make. And it's weird. Some players, they want to take the money.
Yep.
But the countries aren't good to where they can work their way up. Where you can take a less money in a really good country and work your way up faster from there. So, being in the VTB, it was like, that's a great look for you to be able to go over there as a rookie and be able to showcase what you can do so you can work up faster. So that's how I ended up signing with Smokey. Yeah.
Okay. And you were there, I mean, you played, short time there, played 6 games in the Basketball Champion League. So describe the experience there, from the city, from the team / organization, and the overall basketball. So how did that, so describe that, and then the second part to that is how come you end up leaving?
It's a really nice city. Belarus, Minsk, Belarus is what it is. Minsk is a great city, man. There's a lot of people there. Culture is definitely different. It's more like Russia. Not many people speak English. So if you're an American, they obviously recognize that you're an American. So that was a nice aspect of it too. Going over there, the basketball was good as well. We had a pretty good coach and we had good leadership when Yeager, he was a leader. So that was good too. With me personally, why it didn't work out is being so young over there, like you don't really have time to prepare to what you're getting yourself into. Like, especially in Europe, like over here in the States, they'll like mold you from a young age to be able to become that professional you can become. Well, over there in Europe, you kind of like, if you're really young, you get thrown to the wolves and you're really playing at a high level, so it's like, go showcase what you can do. So it took a little while for me to finally like get like, okay, this is professional basketball. People are stronger in Europe. Basketball is different.
Right.
It's a lot more physical. So I was struggling with that aspect of being able to succeed because in my mind, I'm like, I got to go over here. I got to average 30 and I got to get back over the States. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's not a mindset you want to have as a young player going over to Europe because the basketball is so much different. And you can barely average 15 over. If you average 15 over Europe, you're getting buckets.
Yeah.
So I'm over here just jacking up shots, man, getting into it with my coach. Like, listen, I'm not going to be here for long. Like, I'm going back to the States. Like, let me average 30. And he's like, you're not averaging 30. You're not even averaging 10.
Right.
So,
right.
You know what I'm saying? So that was a struggle for me to where we just butt ahead so much. It was time for me to leave.
Okay. So then, transitioning there, from there, you ended up playing in the G League for the Westchester Knicks. How did that all come about? Was that through your agent, or how did that?
I had worked out with the Knicks for pre-draft. So
that's right, you did. Howard Isley.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So they had known me from there, and they had liked me from there. So
Steve Nash too was there.
Uh,
Wasn't he there?
Steve Nash, I worked there with Steve Nash in California.
Oh, California.
That was
Okay,
the
yeah.
that
Oh,
was
yeah.
my
Howard
pre-draft.
Isley was with the Knicks project.
Absolutely,
Okay, yeah,
absolutely.
okay.
So after I left from Ben Lewis, I came back for a little bit, and they're like, we're going to own his rights. We're going to sign him around January. So that was just a blessing because I'm like, oh, I get to go to the G League. I get to play under an NBA organization, showcase what I can do there. So I just jumped on board. I like the opportunity.
Yeah, so then you ended up playing, finished the season now. You had some pretty good games. Once you kind of got your feet wet a little bit, it kind of takes a little bit. We talked to Tucker Heyman last week, and it's kind of like being ready, always having to stay ready because you never know when your number is going to get called. So describe that first season that you played 17 games, and then, yeah, so describe that because then we'll get into summer league and your second year and all that. So how was it the first season?
First season, it was difficult because I was coming to a team that was already established, and I was coming so late. Like at that time, we were the number one team in the whole G League by like 3 games. They were killing everyone. So like when I got there, the coach was like, "Listen, like we really like you, but at the same time, you have to understand that like we're already a great team. So you're coming into as a role being so late anyways." So I was like, okay, I can accept that. I can accept the role. It wasn't until we started playing I got my feet wet to where they were like, okay, this kid can really play and he can not only help us out on the court. So they were able to throw me back in there and be like, okay, like my minutes went up, my production went up. They're like, you can play.
Right.
So I was able to showcase what I can do coming so late into the season.
Right.
And I love my teammates, man. That was a great team, man. They brought me in. They were like, listen, like this is a brother.
Yeah, I can kind of tell. You know, I just watching your stories. You still tag, messing around with them on Instagram. So then, what I found out what was kind of intriguing to me is, we saw you last summer in Vegas, but you were playing with the Bulls summer league team, but not the Knicks, which I thought was kind of interesting. So how did that all kind of happen? So I guess why were you not playing for the Knicks summer league team as opposed to playing for the Bulls?
The summer league and G League, like it kind of coexists, but at the same time it doesn't. Okay. Where players like NBA teams are so busy in their recruiting process, like they already seasons before know who they want to bring in on their teams, especially from colleges and stuff like that. So they already have their rosters even before summer league starts to take off.
Right.
So it's tough because like you play in the G League for a team and they're under your wing and they're looking at you, but at the same time they're like, listen, like we already promised so and so a spot prior to this, so like our spots are filled up. So you have to deal with that. So it's then okay. Now the next step is I want to play summer league. So who if not reaching out to me, do I reach out to and be able to play? Again, having a friend like Zach, he was like, well, the Bulls, they knew who you were, so I can ask them. So I was like, yeah, definitely ask the Bulls. They asked the Bulls, ended up getting me a workout tryout. I killed that, and then they're like, yeah, we want to bring you on board.
Yeah. Then they didn't play you that much, which was whack.
Politics, man.
Yeah, which we kind of figured because we were sitting there like 2 or 3 rows behind, and you're just sitting there, and I'm looking at some of the guards, not going to name names, but obviously I have a bias towards you from knowing you so long, but my bias is because I know what you can bring to the table, and I felt like you could have helped them.
Absolutely.
So,
I just got a funny story about that.
Okay.
So I went with one of my best friends, Mike. And we went to summer league and we were practicing with the team. So it's 3 different teams.
He was on the team too,
he was
right?
on the team too.
Yeah,
so I had
that's
my boy
right.
Mike with me.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
Like he went in there with me and was like, listen, let's kill these guys and let's show them what we can do, man. So we went there. It was a practice. It was the last practice of this before we went to Vegas. And they're like, we're going to have 3 separate teams. So it's me and Mike on the team, and the starters and the second team. So we were on the third team.
Yeah.
I kid you not, I cannot make this up. We were playing 5-on-5-on-5. And it was you score till you get to 7, and then losers off, the next person wins.
Yeah.
You win, you stay on, basically.
Yeah.
I think me and Mike won 4 or 5 games in a row.
With the third team.
With the third team. By ourselves before we got off the court. And by that time, we won 5, so we're so tired. We're like, all right, whatever. Right. So that just goes to show you, man, like, unless you can hoop, but as well, like, they're just going to play who they promised them.
Right, so there's always something else.
Absolutely.
There's guys who can play, but then there's so much more that people
don't understand.
The average fan doesn't really understand or know about.
Absolutely.
So then I just read an article yesterday when I was doing all my prep work was you wanted to go back to Westchester to kind of get a full training camp in, to kind of showcase a lot more that you can play both guard positions, you really evolve as a player. What went to the decision behind that, and did you have offers going into last season? So talk to us about that.
Absolutely. Like, so overseas, like, offers were coming in, but at the same time, like, you don't really get the offer like you want at that aspect. But I'd already predetermined that I want to return back to Westchester.
Right.
And, like, showcase, I gave them a little glimpse of 17 games, so I was like, I want to show them, like, what type of player I actually am. You know what I'm saying? Like, unfinished business.
Yeah.
So that's why I decided, like, even though I was getting these, like, some offers, I was like, not really what I want to be able to turn down, being able to play with a chip on my shoulder and return to show the Westchester Knicks what I can do. So that's how I decided to go back to the G League and be able to play. Especially the G League is such a high level.
Yeah.
You learn a lot. Especially being a young player, you're able to learn how to play the game.
Yeah.
On that system.
I can only imagine. And then, so you stayed, and your guy Xavier, he left. So I am thinking, because he went overseas, played for a couple teams overseas. So in my mind, I'm thinking you're gonna slide right into that spot.
Absolutely.
But then it didn't end up that way. And it's weird, like you said earlier, is you had to be ready because unfortunately, the first part of the season you weren't getting the consistent minutes that you had hoped you earned. So was there something that changed, or was it just the way the ball bounced, or is it just kind of like next man up, or?
There's so many that go into it. So like you said, like my best Xavier, like he was the one playing before me when I got there. You know what I'm saying? So like after he decided he was leaving and going overseas, I was like, okay, now it's my turn to be able to slide in and play that point guard position. But then again, we brought in Kadeem Allen, who's already been an NBA player, NBA vet. He's played 3 years in the league. So he slid right in. So I was like, okay, now I have to play behind Kadeem. Which was fine and all, but you're just waiting for that moment of time to be able to step in and play.
Yeah.
And then in the G League, such a terrific thing is, even though you're playing and not playing the minutes you want to play, when guys start getting those call-ups in those 10 days, who obviously they're going to because they play in the league already, so they're already in the league system, you're able to showcase what you can do in that aspect.
Exactly.
And that's when guys started getting call-ups and stuff like that, to where I was able to play the 30 minutes to 40 minutes a game and to be able to, my numbers just shot up. That really helped me.
Because, I mean, I don't know if you saw this on Instagram, you were one of our players of the day, because we do a player of the day. You were that for one of your games for the playoffs. Shoot, in the playoffs, you averaged 14 points, 14 and a half points, 5.5 rebounds, and 3 assists.
Absolutely.
In the G League, that's not weak. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, some guys, you know what I'm saying? Some guys can go in there, play 5 minutes, score 1 point a game. You know what I'm saying? Those are decent numbers. So you showcase yourself, but unfortunately, no summer league. You didn't play in summer league. Was there a reason behind you?
Just focus on just the grind.
Just focus. Okay. So you didn't play in summer league, and then now that kind of transitions us to Italy. So congratulations with that, first and foremost. What went behind that? Because I know, like I said, there's probably offers on the table. So I guess there's a number of different parts to this question. So one, were you thinking about going back to the G League? 2, what kind of other offers were on there? And then 3, how did you end up choosing? Okay, I'm not gonna butcher this. Kleb Ferrara.
Absolutely.
Is that right?
That's right. Got it.
I'm in there, man. I'm in there.
He 1 for 2, no cap.
So
that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how were you trying to get back to the G League? Were you is that something you wanted to do, or were you just like, man, I try to establish myself in Europe, or kill in Europe, and maybe I get a training camp invite next year, or what was the thought process behind that? Then what kind of offers were on the table, and then how did you ultimately choose Kleb?
So the ups and downs to the G League, I didn't end up returning to the G League this year, is because even though it's such a high level of basketball, the money's really tough, especially because it's just so. Especially living in New York, the tax bracket is crazy. New York, you need to get on that or something. That's ridiculous. But like the money is not matching up to like the level of play that you play every night. You know what I'm saying? And the schedules, the hectic schedules. So at some point in your careers, when you get older, you're like, this is my career. Like I need to make the most money doing what I do. To where that was the decision factor of like, okay, I can keep playing in the G League and keep trying to get the 10 days and the call-ups, but at the same time, you can also get looked at from overseas in Europe and do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was like, okay, I finally wanted to go back to Europe and kind of unfinished business as well. But then Italy, just they showed interest. Killed a workout to where they're like, okay, like we're definitely on board. And Italy's such just a great realm of basketball. It's high level. You know what I'm saying? So you do well in Italy, sky's the limit.
Right.
So
You can only just boost your stock, so to
exactly,
speak.
exactly.
Okay. Well, dang. So then now it leads us to where we are. You leave Thursday, so that's exciting. I think, like I said, we appreciate you taking a minute. I know you and Mike got to get to a workout here in a sec, but I appreciate you taking a couple minutes out of your time after ducking us for about a year, after ducking me and Visualize. Man, my fault, man. By the way, shout out to Visualize. He's on the camera, man.
Absolutely.
That's my brother. He does great work. You guys need to follow him. So we're just end this with the rapid fire. Just you don't have to go into a long answer about this. So your toughest matchup individually, toughest player you've had to guard in high school, college, and in the pros.
Ooh, toughest matchup I've had to guard, like in the game setting every day, is definitely Xavier. Xavier is, especially at that level, he's probably playing the best basketball he's ever played. I think he averaged like 17, 7, and 7 in the G League. So especially going in.
And he got a call up
And he got a call
Memphis,
up with Memphis, absolutely. So especially going into it, I had to compete against Xavier every day. And I'm a dog. Like, I see myself as like a dog. But there's someone that I can relate to in that aspect of being a dog and feeling like undervalued is Xavier. So I had to go against him every day in practice, man. We used to butt heads. We almost fought like every day in practice. That's the only reason I say him is because of just having to go at him.
How about in college? I mean, you could say one for each part of your
Absolutely.
career. So how about in college?
Ooh, in college, the toughest matchup I had to go against. Definitely probably Tyler Harvey, who was actually in the area. So I don't know.
Oh yeah,
Harvey.
Eastern from
Absolutely.
Eastern. Yeah.
But
Okay.
Tyler Harvey in college was hard to guard, man.
Right.
I think he led the nation in scoring.
Yeah.
His last year.
Yeah, Eastern.
In scoring, absolutely. Got drafted, man. Shout out Tyler, but he was definitely the hardest person I had to match up with in college.
And then in high school, was it Tone? Or did you have to guard him?
I did have to guard Tone.
Okay. I mean, he could be up there, but I mean, obviously, you guarded.
Absolutely.
Metro was nothing to play with in your time.
Now that I'm thinking about it, honestly, yeah, it was Tone or Rio Adams. Tone and Rio were definitely 1A, 1B for who I had to guard in high school, man. People don't understand how good Rio was in high school, man.
Yeah,
Rio was
he
tough
was a beast.
to guard. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, so then, now we'll go to the team aspect. What was the best win in each of those realms of your career? So, best win in high school, best win in college, best win in the pros.
High school, definitely Garfield. Winning against
Garfield,
was
junior year?
Easily was the biggest win of my career, man. We wanted that win bad. College, I want to say Idaho versus New Mexico State was probably the biggest win in college for me. We beat them at home. They were a really good team, man, and we had to beat them to put us in the spot to be able to. I think we got the 3rd or 4th seed, so it was a good spot win for us right there. Pros, big win for us. Ooh, I'm trying to think. This past year, who we had a really good win against. Definitely, it was probably the Magic, or it was Brooklyn's G League team. To where the Brooklyn rivalry was crazy. So whenever you beat Brooklyn, you're like, yeah, we feel good. When the Magic, they were just so scrappy. It was like beating them was also a good win for us too.
So then, I got 2 more. So then, best individual game of high school, college, and the pros.
Okay.
So each phase, what was your best individual game? I mean, shit, you've had so many of them. So, but is there one?
Very true.
See, man, it's like that little plug there. Pumping up his ego even more.
He telling the truth. Best individual game, high school is probably. It might be Garfield again, man. They got 30 against Tone. Yeah, I was killing Tone. Shout out Tone, man. But college is against Central at Central. I think I got 46 on 17.
Yeah.
On 17 shot attempts. I have 46 against Central, man. and my best friends were in the building, so that was awesome. And then professionally, you're only as good as your last game. It's got to be the last game at G League at 23, 12, and 5 or 4, I do believe. So those are the best games on every level.
That's what's up. And so then, last question is kind of like bringing everything together. Is the NBA still the ultimate goal for you, or do you have aspirations to like go to the Euro League and go to different countries where you can really just like kill and keep moving up? So what is it, the NBA, or is it both, or what is the ultimate?
Absolutely. The NBA is just every kid's dream.
Still?
Every kid, for as long as you're playing basketball, you just believe that I gotta reach that level. Like that's the final like pinnacle of I did it. You know what I'm saying? That's where the tears come, the tears fly. And the result of right now, like you just in the moment, you just got to be just prepared to just reach that high level, the highest level you can make. So right now, it's obviously like if I'm going to Europe, I want to be able to get them call-ups to EuroLeague. But then eventually, absolutely, you want your focus once turn back to NBA.
Get back to the league. All right. Well, dang, that about does it. I just one thing. I think I'm not being biased because I was your 5th grade coach and I've known you since you was 10. But you can get there, bro. You just have to. Sometimes the basketball needs to bounce your way. Sometimes it's luck.
Absolutely.
But I know if you're destined for it, you're gonna get there. After you kill in Italy this year, you'll eventually get there.
Appreciate you, family.
But that about does it. I want to take the time to say thank you to Sekou Wiggs, guard for Kleb Ferrara. See, I didn't butcher the name. We appreciate it, man. Oh, great interview. I appreciate it, man. So thank you. Do you want to plug like your social media or anything for them to follow you?
Yeah, S_Wiggs 2, man. S_Wiggs 2, Wiggs with 2 G's.
At Instagram?
Not Instagram, man.
All right.
Twitter.
And then, follow us. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Follow my man Visualize on the camera. Adam here. Blacktop Smack Talk. Thank you again.
Appreciate
Suki,
you, man.
Appreciate you, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Signing off. Appreciate your love and support, everybody.